Do some of the character designs of Pop's Hazbin Hotel bother you to an extent that you feel the need to see them redone? You want to hear 3 artists' brutally honest opinions on the finale? Well, stick around, and both of these devilish urges will be satisfied. Thanks, and don't forget to subscribe and support our Ko-Fi. On with the video!
Speeding through episode 5. Dad beat dad. The official recap. Charlie struggles with asking her father, Lucifer. Meanwhile, an unexpected new arrival shakes things up at the hotel. First, we find that Charlie struggles to think of a way to make the hotel work, and again, this is Vaggie, of course, coming to Charlie's aid and saying, how about you go ask your all-powerful father, Lucifer, for some help? Then we learn Charlie is hesitant because they have a strained relationship. So Charlie attempts to make the hotel look as best as possible once he agrees to come over. After Lucifer arrives, he meets Alistair, which is where we get the kind of dad beat dad thing, because Alistair's like, I've been here since day one, and we had a little bit of a clash, and so we get the song Hell's Greatest Dad, because Alistair says something about I'm her father figure, Charlie's father figure now, which is interesting. During the song, or at the end of the song, new character spawns in, Mimsy, and Mimsy, it's me, Mimsy. And from her introduction, we get a little more insight about Alistair. TLDR, Alistair used to take out overlords and play their screams over the radio until he disappeared 7 years ago. We then learn from Husk that Mimsy only appears when there's trouble. Meanwhile, Lucifer is being shown around the hotel. After all that, he's like, Charlie, I don't think this is gonna work. Charlie gets a little bit upset by this, but then of course we're interrupted again by Mimsy because the trouble that was following her has followed her to the hotel. This causes some commotion. Alistair decides to take charge and he kills all of the goons. And the whole time Lucifer is like, well, this is not the best way you should go about this. And Charlie's like, but he's helping the hotel. And then of course that transitions into another song. More than anything. Lucifer is telling Charlie, I'm only saying this because I want to look out for you. And then they realize, wait, maybe I do care for you, and we're not just a daddy issue ridden relationship here. Lucifer is like, you know what, Charlie, I'll listen to you. I'll hear you out and set you up on this meeting. So next, episode 6, Welcome to Heaven. So the official recap, Charlie and Vaggie make their way to heaven to speak to Adam's manager. Meanwhile, an explosive reunion gives Angel the opportunity to show how far he's come. Vaggie's apprehensive and Charlie's like, I want you to come with me.
Because you're my partner and you support me and everything.
They're preparing to leave and they go downstairs and who would you know, another character spawns in, Cherry Bomb. She blasts through the door, and if anyone has any prior Hazbin lore like Addict or the pilot, then you know who Cherry Bomb is. And Cherry Bomb is basically a bad influence for Angel. They're friends, but she's really there to make him relapse. Basically, Charlie's like, wait, Cherry Bomb, you're here. How about you, since we're about to have this meeting and we're out for the day, you take all the other residents of the hotel to a party. Cut away, we get to another character, which is the blindingly white Saint Peter greeting Charlie. Also, 2 other new characters, Sarah and Emily, which are both seraphims, which ultimately invite Charlie and Vaggie in because they know the meeting's been set up. We then have another song that is, what would you know? Welcome to Heaven is what it's called. And they're kind of just showing us around. Easter egg for that at the end when he's like, we're all hot here. Angel is his sister. You can see her posing there. At the end of that little Welcome to Heaven sequence, we see Adam show up and we learn that no one can know about the exterminations except for the highest lords in heaven. Then there's another little cutaway and Charlie and Vaggie are getting ready before the meeting and Charlie leaves the room and Adam appears at the door. Surprise, we learn that she was once an exterminator, or exorcist as they call it. And she's been keeping this from Charlie. And then we cut to the court meeting finally. Charlie uses Angel to show that the sinners can be redeemed. So they have like a little bubble and we see into Angel's current status, which is at that party I was mentioning. Basically at the whole party, Angel is attempting to make good decisions. At this point, things aren't looking too good because it seems Angel's like, wait, he's still making mistakes, but also he is still making good decisions. However, he wasn't sent to heaven. So Emily questions this and she's like, why wouldn't Angel have been sent to heaven if he was doing these things that Adam claimed would get someone to heaven? And it's like, wait, actually we don't know how people are sent to heaven. They let it slip about the exterminations and Emily gets really mad. She's distraught, so we get the song You Didn't Know, which is basically just like a ballad is forever, between, then not ballad, it's between Emily and Charlie. And they're like, oh, you didn't tell me about this. We get these big reveals. And then at the very end, Charlie finds out that Vaggie was, in fact, an angel. Okay, so after those recaps, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about my redesign. And I did Sir Pentious. My main things for him, one, I did this kind of in the same style of the first angel dust that I did for our like Hazbin Hotel prediction recap video. Basically, my main thing was simplifying his color palette and making some more of his design closer to like the time period he was supposed to be from.
It looks so good.
Thank you. Basically, I looked at the wiki and found out he is in fact in his 40s and died in 1880. So I'm like, nothing besides his bow tie and top hat.
40s?
Yeah. Nothing gives me 1880s or the time period he's from.
1880s?
Yeah, that's when he died. So my first thing was, I know that a lot of things about his design are very much because of Vivian's art style and personal preferences, aka like the bright colors and that kind of thing. Personally, I don't really use those saturated colors. So I thought, hey, if he's in the 1880s, why not make his color palette a little more muted anyway? But I wanted to keep those pink elements, and because I know Vivian loves pink. So I really just simplified his color palette and made him more muted.
I like what you did with his
And
hair.
thank you. I did that because I was looking up 1880 men's hairstyles, and yeah, they had long hair back then, but the traditional hairstyle wouldn't be as long. They had more of this like little swoop thing going, and I just added a little ponytail thing because I was like, you know what, if they had long hair, that's how they would do it.
Colonial.
And he could
it's very
He
colonial.
could still, like, in the actual show, obviously,
Like flare his hair.
Yeah, exactly.
His hair could still flare like this.
Like
Honestly,
the
I think it
Cobra.
would make more sense like this.
And for the egg boys, I honestly like the egg boys, but I don't like that they're still complicated, like the suits and everything. I'm making the eggs a little bit more
Cutesy.
tall and cutesy, and I wanted to have their little tails out because I thought that was cute, just to kind of switch it up.
This is so cute.
Yeah, and I also did like a tiny little simplified version just to show how
Boss.
easy you can simplify him. My style is very different from Vivian, but to give a little example
What
of what it could be.
What could have been. Okay, so the episode that comes after 6 would be 7, no way. It's called Hello Rosie, which is apparently like an allusion to Hello Dolly. The official synopsis of this episode is: with secrets revealed and the hotel in the crosshairs, Charlie and Vaggie must do what they can to protect their home from destruction by any means necessary. Basically, they're kicked out of heaven, and then Vaggie's like, hey guys, I actually was an angel. Alistair reveals that he knew that Carmilla killed an angel in return for Charlie helping him with a favor.
Yeah,
bad move on Charlie.
Right,
to
Charlie.
Be honest.
Any favor, she just for information. She didn't even know what he's gonna tell.
Yeah.
Whatever. Charlie, she's still upset over Vaggie never telling her, that she was an angel, and so she tells Vaggie to go to Carmilla to convince her to help, while Charlie and Alistair go to get an army. So then Charlie and Alistair go to Cannibal Town. Charlie has no idea where she's being taken. Alistair just takes her, and they meet Rosie, who like runs the town. Charlie tries to convince them, but she gets like too stressed out. She then tells Rosie about Vaggie, never telling her that she was an angel, even though they shared everything together. Rosie gives her advice on how to deal with it, and then Charlie feels better, and then she goes back to try to rally the residents of Cannibal Town.
I'm ready for this.
I really hope that I'm ready for this. And then, while this is happening, Carmilla is teaching Vaggie how to fight angels, and basically there's a song that happens.
For love.
For her.
Yeah, very...
Do it for him.
but like sped up. Vaggie in this song regains her wings, and then Carmilla helps the hotel by supplying them with the angelic tipped weapons. Vaggie and Charlie get back together, and then they're like, Charlie brings her a little souvenir, so basically everything's okay again. And
They're ready for
this.
Ready for this.
And that's the end of that episode, and then we're about to embark on the
grand season
finale. The next episode is called The Show Must Go On. The official synopsis is: in the season 1 finale, all bets are off as the confrontation between the legions of heaven and hell begins. Okay?
It's like, this is a big moment.
Yeah, the battle to end all battles.
So Charlie like starts off with this big speech, basically being like, we might die, but we probably won't. And then all the residents of the hotel
They're
get
basically
drinks.
doing the Hamilton.
It's literally
Story tonight.
Yeah. Let's have another round tonight. Sir Pentious almost confesses his feelings to Cherry Bomb. Then Charlie is like confides in Vaggie when she's like, what if this is all for naught? And then Vaggie's like, even if you only changed me, at least you changed one person. And then they sing More Than Anything.
More than anything.
Yeah, and so then the next day comes and extermination day. Adam swoops in, a huge battle ensues. Adam eventually breaks Alistair's microphone. Adam
Fully
spears him. And then Alistair is like, well, I guess this broadcast has come to an end, or something like that. Forgot to mention, Alistair delivers our favorite line in the whole series. Before the big battle, let the slaughter begin. And then Alistair, like, turns into
dust.
like Thanos.
Sludge. Thanos dust.
Thanos dust. And then, out of nowhere, Sir Pentious decides to finally
sacrifice himself.
Well, hold on. He grows
right.
a pair, and he goes, Cherry Bomb, I love you.
Yeah.
And then he kisses her, and then he sacrifices. Sir Pentious kamikazes himself for no reason also, and it's the quickest death you've ever seen.
Like,
in your life.
genuinely, I didn't
Mina
catch
missed
it. Yeah, I didn't
We were like
catch it.
eating lunch and Mina missed it because she was looking down. And then because Charlie is so distraught, she enters her demon form, which is like, okay, why weren't we here from the
Now
beginning?
he's about to go beast mode.
Yeah. She and Vaggie ride Razzle and Dazzle, who have also entered their demon forms, their big dragon. Dazzle is then immediately killed by Loot.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Yes, because then I've literally watched this episode at least 3 times all the way through, and I missed that. How?
Because everything happens so
so
fast.
quick,
Dazzle's then killed by Loot. Loot and Vaggie obviously have to have a little confrontation because
the
like
girls
Angel,
are fighting.
Ex-Angel, Earth Angel. Loot like impales Vaggie through her hand, but then Vaggie is like, wait, I actually have angel wings now, and then she doesn't kill her. She spares her. She almost kills her. Loot tears her arm off to escape, and then Lucifer appears. So then
which he should have been there from the
in
beginning.
the most like cliche, Lucifer appears and he's like, I guess I'm a little late, huh?
Yeah.
And it's like
Literally.
Lucifer wants to kill him, and then Charlie's like, no, we have to show him mercy. But then suddenly he's stabbed in the back, and it's like, what? By who? Nifty. And then Loot and the other angels return. They cancel Extermination Day. Lucifer then uses his magic to help rebuild the hotel, and they sing Finale is what the song is called. Normally I would give you a little demonstration. I can't. We also see Alistair like stumbling to his broadcasting office. Also, a little detail that I wanted to add that I didn't notice. Vox and Valentino make out.
Making passionately.
Yes,
making out passionately.
they're making out passionately. And then Alistair comes back. Possibly the most interesting part of the
like
whole
literally
show.
the last like 2 minutes of this episode.
We then cut to a scene in heaven. Sir Pentious appears.
He's reborn. He's an angel fire.
Basically, this means sinners can be redeemed.
Yeah.
Kind of like giving post-credit scene.
Yeah.
We're then on a beach in heaven, and Loot, who is now in charge because Adam is dead, walks up to Lilith, and she shows Lilith Adam's halo, basically being like, Adam's dead, you're gonna have to go like wrangle your daughter. She remarks warningly that your deal is done, and if she wants to stay in heaven, she has to go down and confront Charlie herself.
Very interesting stuff.
That's it. Just a few things to touch on the redesign. I know we've been watching it this whole time. Yeah, so in doing research, I found that he died in 1970. What about his original design conveyed that?
Nothing.
For me personally, nothing. So I like looked up 1970s like crime. Mobster, literally. Because his personality is grumpy old man.
And I mean, that's definitely what he's supposed to be.
So I wanted his shape to convey that more than it does.
Yeah.
So I tried to make him like blockier and bigger. And I gave him a hat that isn't just a top hat, it's more of like the kind of style of hat that majorly simplified him. I also did remove his wings because I could not understand why he had them.
Like, he was never an angel.
But no, he was never an angel. There was no reason for him to have them. He just looks like, literally like an OC I had in 5th grade. Yeah. And I hate to say it, but it's just true. Yeah. I made a cat that had wings in 5th grade and that had polka dots on them.
Well, I really like your redesign. I feel like I especially like how you made him look more old man. You couldn't really tell that if he wasn't speaking, so I like this a lot.
Thank you.
Now to our final notes on the season overall, and also maybe some predictions for the future season. Overall, this like wasn't the worst piece of media that I've consumed. I like genuinely am looking forward to season 2. There's some things that can keep me hooked. You know, some things that I do like about the show, but I feel like this mainly suffered from being too rushed, and I'm not really sure why like A24 gave them the 8 episode quota, because that is so little for season 1, especially with how much they were trying to convey. This is supposed to span over 6 months time. It feels like a day.
I feel like they could have at least benefited from 2 more episodes.
Yeah, I hope that second season has a little bit more. Timeline-wise, there were just way too many character introductions. Like the first episode, there's already like 10 characters you're supposed to know.
Yeah.
And they don't really introduce them, like, because they also rely on you having seen the pilot.
Yeah.
Amazon should put the pilot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was gonna mean that
On
much
Amazon.
to it,
But yeah, because it clearly has so much importance.
Yeah.
It almost feels character of the, or villain of the week, but with villain of the week, usually it's like, okay, these characters aren't really gonna come back. Slash, they're not really that important. It's just more for like the gag, like just watching them be like defeated, or like this interaction is going to be used to further the development of these two characters, something like that.
Every villain they introduced, like the way, like comparing it to the Steven Universe movie, they all felt like a Spinell level introduction.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
like this was the whole
so it was
this
like,
much
okay,
importance.
this is important.
Yeah.
But they should or could have, if we were doing more of a villain of the week, if you compare it to more like regular show, that is like a villain of the week. They like did a weird mix.
Yeah, so it was like really confusing to understand. First of all, remember all the names of the characters, 2, their roles in Hell, and then also like their hierarchy in terms of, okay, how important are they enemy wise?
Would have handled it like the V's were, they were like, oh, this is like the enemy, and that's what you think is, or that's what viewers think is the enemy. But you get hints of, oh, there's something more, like Adam. And then in later seasons, the bigger conflict is actually introduced.
One of the things that makes the show interesting is Alistair, and the way we don't know that much about him, and you know, like Lilith and all that, and what maybe
their
linked.
connection possibly.
But it just doesn't work if you do that with too many characters and also not enough like balance.
They introduced all these characters like really quickly too. They are so excited to show us all the new characters that they've made up for the show. They just want to see them all now. Lucifer, for example, I think it would have been really way more impactful if our first introduction to him was when he shows up at the battle at the end.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's just talking to Charlie on the phone. We don't really know. We see Charlie's reaction sometimes. But maybe he proves that he actually believes in the project by showing up in the battle at the end. We're like, oh my gosh, it's Lucifer seeing it the first time.
Yeah.
It also made way more sense. He shows up late. Like just to work for the plot.
This show needs to gain a better understanding of the word suspense as well.
Like, because they have the few moments that we get at the very end that can prepare us for season 2. We don't feel suspenseful that any character is gonna have something bad happen to them or anything, because there's no time to relate or link or love. One thing that they did really well that we've been talking about are the songs, because again, they hired Broadway people.
Yeah, no,
every
the
other
voice
show ever
actors
take notes.
are
Honestly,
amazing.
overall, the voice acting was really well done.
Really good.
Yeah, that was never an issue for me.
And the music is pretty good.
I really hope
That I'm ready for this. Lilith's reveal at the end, like, I'm very intrigued. I don't really have any theories regarding her because honestly,
she's very much up in there.
she's so like mysterious, but I feel like she's always been like a villain. When she takes Charlie away from Lucifer in that one flashback, he looks sad, she looks sad, so it's like, okay, I think her memory of Lilith is like someone of much nicer and motherly and maternal. Why was she gone? Is Alistair connected to Lilith in terms of maybe he's serving Lilith? Yeah, they're working in cahoots. Anyway,
they're cahooting.
Final bit of the video. My redesign is Vagatha. I wanted to kind of keep like the same color wise. I did want to give her actual human skin tone because she's a person of color. Vaggie is Latina, and none of the demons are very human like, but also she was an angel originally, and I mean even the angels don't look all human, but I still think that Vivian needs to take notes with that, and that you can have skin tones that are like brown and
not
tan
gray.
and not gray,
And also different body types. This is an aside.
kept her like gray hair, but I gave some pink in there because she's an angel. I wanted to keep her wings too. I gave her just like 2 really long braids because like Luna moths have like the tiny little danglies at the bottom. And then also you're probably wondering, okay, what is this outfit? Well, she supposedly died in 2014, so I had to give her 2014 fashion, which is also why she has a side bang.
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
because I don't mind her having a side bang either. I just kept the X. I decided to make it more visible. Yeah, and her belt is supposed to like vaguely represent a moth.
I love that all of our designs
more colorful.
still include kind of like the red. Mine and yours have like the pinstripe, like y'all also have like the gray still. Also, disclaimer that we always say like Vivian does this as if she has full creative control, but just know that we mean, I guess, like the team,
Vivian,
and
her team,
whoever
anyone who
is
works on
approving
this.
it, just all that.
So ready for season 2? Who's with me?